Are you tired of feeling stuck, unable to tackle those tasks piling up on your to-do list? We've all been there, whether it's work, cleaning, or even starting a new project. That little voice in our head says, I'll do it later. But later somehow turns into hours, days, or even weeks. Procrastination feels like an impossible habit to break, and there are so many productivity hacks out there that it can feel overwhelming just trying to find the right one. The 5-second rule, the Pomodoro technique, the eat the frog method, it's a lot to keep track of. So, let's simplify. Imagine you could stop procrastination in just 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes. There's a quick trick, backed by psychology, that anyone can use immediately, and it's surprisingly easy to fit into your daily routine. Today, I'll be sharing this game-changing 3-minute trick with you, a small commitment that creates massive results, no complex techniques required. Let's dive in. But before we do, if you're serious about leveling up your productivity and making real changes, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This channel is packed with practical, no-nonsense strategies to help you reach your goals and overcome obstacles. Subscribing isn't just about watching videos. It's about investing in your growth and turning productivity into a daily habit. So join us and let's make productivity your new superpower. To understand why this 3-minute trick works, let's first get into the psychology of procrastination. At its core, procrastination happens because of something called the instant gratification trap. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, so when a task feels difficult, boring, or uncomfortable, our minds immediately look for ways to avoid it. We crave something that feels good right now, like scrolling through social media or watching a funny video, and our brain rewards us with a burst of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This is where the pain avoidance loop kicks in. When we anticipate discomfort, like the effort it takes to finish that big project or clean the kitchen, our brain tries to protect us by focusing on the short-term relief we get from avoiding it. We get temporary pleasure, but the task doesn't go away, and this habit loop becomes harder and harder to break. Soon enough, procrastination isn't just an occasional thing, it's a habit, bringing with it stress, guilt, and the sense that time is slipping away. But the great news? There's a simple, science-backed way to break free from this loop. You can actually trick your brain out of procrastination mode and start tasks with a tiny commitment, just 3 minutes. This isn't about willpower, it's about understanding how your brain works and using it to your advantage. Here's where the magic happens. The 3-minute rule. It's straightforward. When there's a task you've been avoiding, don't think about completing it. Instead, just commit to doing it for 3 minutes. Set a timer if you need to, and tell yourself, I'm only going to work on this for 3 minutes. It's so simple, but there's real psychology behind why this works. First, 3 minutes is a short enough amount of time that your brain doesn't feel threatened by it. You're not asking yourself to finish a huge project or go through an entire task list. You're just telling yourself to give it 3 minutes. This approach avoids triggering the brain's resistance, making it feel less daunting to start. Now let's get into the science of how it works. By starting the task, even for a tiny amount of time, you engage the brain's task initiation process. When you're avoiding something, it's not the task itself that's overwhelming. It's the mental energy of starting it. Once you're over that initial hurdle, you're already engaged. And here's what's incredible. Starting something, even for a few minutes, often builds momentum. You've broken through that first layer of resistance, and it becomes much easier to keep going. Many people find that those 3 minutes turn into 5, 10, or even an hour, all because they got past the initial barrier. And here's the added bonus. Our brains actually get a dopamine boost when we complete even a small step toward a goal. Think of it as a little reward that makes the task feel more satisfying. By doing those 3 minutes, you create a feeling of accomplishment that makes it easier to continue. This trick is more than just a productivity hack. It's a tool to rewire your brain, so it craves productivity and rewards you for taking action. Applying the trick in everyday life. Now let's get practical. How do you use the 3-minute trick in real-life situations? Let's look at a few examples that are probably all too familiar. First, think about work tasks. Let's say your email inbox is piling up with messages you've been avoiding. Instead of trying to go through the whole thing, set a timer and just tell yourself, I'll check emails for 3 minutes. Start responding to 1 or 2, and if you feel like continuing after the 3 minutes, great. But even if you stop after those 3 minutes, you've made progress. Next, personal goals. Exercise is a big one for a lot of people. Instead of psyching yourself up for a full workout, just start with a 3-minute stretch or warm-up. Once you're moving, you might find that you're ready to continue with a full workout. But if you don't, that's okay too. You've still taken a step. This trick is also a lifesaver for creative tasks. Say you're working on a big project like writing an article, designing something, or studying for an exam. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole task, just commit to starting it for 3 minutes. Write a few sentences, sketch out some ideas, or review a small section of your study material. The beauty of this approach is that you've started, and starting is the hardest part. This technique has worked wonders for countless people, including well-known entrepreneurs and creators who use it to build habits over time. By breaking down their tasks into these mini starts, they create momentum without feeling overwhelmed. And here's a quick tip to make it even easier. Set a reminder on your phone or a visible note on your desk to remind yourself to use the 3-minute trick whenever you feel procrastination kicking in. It's amazing how this tiny shift can change your approach to tasks. How to make the 3-minute trick a lasting habit. To get the full benefits of this 3-minute trick, it's important to use it consistently. Start by making it a daily practice. Whenever you feel that familiar urge to put something off, whether it's responding to an email, tidying up, or starting a project, just take those 3 minutes to get started. Using this trick daily builds a powerful routine that gradually rewires your brain to tackle tasks instead of avoiding them. Over time, procrastination becomes a lot less tempting, and productivity starts feeling like second nature. One way to stay on track is by keeping a quick log or journal. Write down whenever you use the 3-minute trick and note how often it led to more than just 3 minutes of work. This helps you see patterns in the kinds of tasks you're more likely to continue, as well as those that might need a bit more motivation. Tracking your progress is a great way to keep yourself motivated, and it lets you measure how far you've come. And remember to celebrate small wins. Starting a task, even for a few minutes, is an achievement in itself. Each time you act instead of procrastinating, you're reinforcing the habit, building up positive momentum, and training your mind to see progress as something to be proud of. Acknowledge these wins, no matter how small. They're all steps toward a more proactive, productive version of you. The power of small steps. Why this trick works long-term. By using the 3-minute trick consistently, you're doing more than just checking off tasks. You're building a proactive mindset. Each time you start a task instead of putting it off, you're training your brain to approach challenges head-on. This trick helps rewire your thinking, making it easier to tackle bigger tasks because you've built the habit of simply starting. Overcoming procrastination in small steps also boosts your self-confidence. Once you see that you can take on tasks in bite-sized pieces, larger goals don't seem as overwhelming. With every small step, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of taking action and making progress. The confidence that comes with this can make a huge difference in how you approach everything in life. So here's a challenge for you. Try the 3-minute trick every day for the next week. Commit to starting tasks for just 3 minutes and see where it takes you. Congratulations! You made it to the end, so don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.